One of the other big things that's affecting us at the shore, certainly, and across the country, is the drug epidemic, the opioid epidemic. There seems that there's progress being made towards solution, that not everything out there is too damper and bad, but there's still an issue of getting enough beds and rehab centers, tracing the source of where drugs are coming from, both in the country and from out of the country. What is being done in Washington, and what do you think should be done to curb the epidemic? You know, neither of us are going to wake up tomorrow, unfortunately, and nobody's going to be selling and dealing and abusing drugs. But what is being done to curb it, get treatment for those addicted, and try to find a way to work with law enforcement, the DEA, especially the DEA task force here at the shore, in finding the source of where these drugs are coming from, both in America and from outside the country, so that no more drugs are getting pumped in.
Not enough is being done, and that's what I find really frustrating about where this issue stands in Washington. Now, granted, Congress and the previous Congress did take steps to try to make some impacts, but it's just not addressing the scope of the problem. When you have 70,000 Americans losing their lives every single year to drug overdose, which is the total number of Americans who lost their lives during the Vietnam War, we're losing that every single day. Basically, you know, we lose about 141, 145 people every single day to drug overdoses. It's like a jumbo jet going down every day in terms of lives lost. This is a national emergency. It's a real crisis here, and I don't see that level of urgency in how the government is responding, and I think that's what I find frustrating. You know, where is our national strategy? What is our national plan? I worked in counterterrorism issues and national security before, doing a lot on countering ISIS and other groups. If there was a terrorist attack anywhere in the world of any significance, you know, there was just so much momentum to address those issues. Whereas when we're dealing with the loss of life and just the fact that in Ocean County and Burlington County we lose almost a person a day to drug overdoses, we're not seeing that same level of urgency. You're absolutely right to point out the problems that we face in terms of just not having enough beds. I remember hearing from someone who said they had an addiction problem. They went to try to seek medically assisted treatment, and they were told, you know, come back in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. We don't have a bed right now. We just had a town hall actually just across the road over in the Toms River, in the Ocean County Library, a town hall specific on the opioid crisis, bringing together law enforcement, health professionals, doctors, physicians, others, trying to come up with a greater sense of what the needs are in this community. One of the things that we talked about was at least trying to make sure we can get to a point where people don't have to wait if they want to have treatment. That person that was told come back in 3 weeks, you know, that's not a person that might be in that position to be able to come back. You know, when they're seeking help, you got to take advantage of that. Other states like Vermont have a 0-day wait in terms of being able to get that treatment. I'd like us to be able to get there too. So we're just trying to figure out what are the steps that we need to take at the federal level, the state level, the county level, the township level. It's going to require an all-of-government approach, and I'm hoping that we can have that kind of urgency of thought in Congress so that we can really light a fire under this, make sure we have the resources to the front lines out here in Ocean County and elsewhere where we just see everybody here knows somebody that was affected by this.
Have you had any conversations with the DEA, whether it's the task force in Jersey or certainly down in Washington, about how they're looking out to curb the epidemic, looking to cut down on dealers, drug lords, looking for where these drugs are coming from and who's dealing them, and what the country should be doing in order to prevent that from happening, or at least curb it to a degree? I
have been able to speak with a lot of law enforcement around our state, a lot that are focused in on specifically on a task force for dealing with the opioid crisis. They have shown me how they're able to map out where they're seeing opioid overdoses, Narcan use, and all sorts of other data to try to pinpoint, what are areas that are distribution sites, where are areas where people are manufacturing this and cutting fentanyl into other types of products. This advent of the synthetic fentanyl is just such a huge problem and has been a major contributor to the fact that we have such an increase in loss of life. The fact that it's being cut into other types of drug products as well to try to increase profit margins for the drug organizations, but at a cost of just tremendous loss of life. We're talking about fentanyl that's so powerful that just a few grains of this, like salt crystal size, can kill a person. But it's very difficult because of that. The how small it is and how easily it can be transported. You can pack an envelope full of fentanyl that could kill hundreds of people, if not more, and that's just so hard for us to be able to track, so hard for us to be able to see. So our law enforcement is certainly engaged. We're trying to give them more tools and resources to do so, but we also know that it's going to have to be a comprehensive solution. There's no single law enforcement way out of this crisis. In the same way, there's no health and mental health way out of this type of crisis. And the more that we can get each aspect of this solution together in the same room, working in a coordinated fashion, the stronger I think we'll be. We've seen a lot of that great cooperation right here in Ocean County. My job is just to try to help empower them, give them more resources to be able to accomplish it.